Fargo Fresh. We are here with Natalie Sparrow. Hello, Natalie.
Hello.
We are moving. Let me turn that up here. We are moving on to Fargo Fresh. Now, I'm doing something a little different. So, Fargo Fresh, normally I do like some lighthearted news, whatever. I went into YouTube and did the research on the back end for content gaps. And I typed in fashion because I'm having you on, right?
Yeah.
So I thought maybe you could give me a fresh perspective on some content gaps, and we can play the game with YouTube a little bit for the algorithm. So they need something about space clothing, space fashion. What do you know about space clothing fashion?
Well,
On the spot, go.
I was at a fashion show where they created space fashion.
No,
so that
no.
Arms, I know, I have pictures of it I could send to you. But they had arms, the sleeves were longer than the arms, and the hoods went up over the face.
Where was this?
It was in L.A.
In L.A.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
famous designer down there who does some really pretty impressive
When
things.
did you? So you and I go way back, and we've done a lot of networking together. Did you ever? I was in the circle with Sierra Abel. Did
Yes.
you ever?
Love Sierra.
Was it the same? Her whole branding is Spaceman Fargo,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I think something between you and her, there's some kind of YouTube magic to be had because there's a
Possibly.
huge content gap for space clothing, space fashion. Okay.
Well, we
So-
could maybe fill that.
So we just
Actually, it was the fashion designer in L.A. They'd have to fill it, actually.
I'm just doing what the algorithm tells me. I'm not a real person. I'm not a real person. I just process everything. The next content gap is David Allen fashion show. Do you even know who David Allen is? Nobody does because he doesn't have any content on YouTube. Do you see how this works? Do you see how it? Fashion Farmhouse is another one. Does that?
I could see that as interior design fashion, but farmhouse fashion, I mean, unless they're talking about bibs and Laura Ingalls dresses.
Are you going to throw a bib fashion show? Again, you might
No.
become a YouTube star because there's a content gap. I'm trying to give you okay. And then I typed in Natalie. I typed in Natalie as well, and I got yoga.
Oh.
Have you ever thought of becoming apparently they're looking for yoga instructors.
I think I'm way too high strung.
Last week's guest, Caroline, not Carolyn. Caroline, she did yoga. She's a yoga instructor. So I think
Natalie could bring in Caroline.
Yes.
And we'd have a sweet Caroline moment.
and then you guys, I brought up that song with her, and she's like, yep.
Yeah, every
yep.
time, I'm sure she
Yep.
gets that all the time.
My mother, whose name is Carolyn, she loves that song. Every time it comes out.
Doesn't everybody love that song except for Caroline?
Except for Caroline, because she's sick of it. Okay. All right, let's move on to the stories here. So Mammoth Holdings has opened a Silverstar car wash in Fargo. Another car wash.
No way.
Do you have any idea what is your theory? Why are there? What's the deal with all these car washes?
I can't imagine that I know, okay, easy money, like they say, but you still have to have somebody run who wants to stand in the cold and the wet in the middle of winter when it's 40 below? Like I would. So, but
these machines are automated.
they are, but they always have somebody like spraying them down, or some of them, not all of them. I've seen some of them. I'm like, you still have to.
You gotta have somebody.
There, and you still have to fix it. My son, actually, my 21-year-old son was like, Mom, you should start a car wash. I'm like, you're insane, dude. I'm not going to become one of those people.
Yeah, I somebody told me it's like some Breaking Bad plot where it's like there's some drug money being laundered somehow. I don't know anything about it. So I don't know anything about
ignorant.
it.
We're
I'm
very
totally
ignorant.
I don't know anything. I know nothing. I see something. I see nothing. That's Colonel Clink, right? Clink Hammer, right? So, okay. And then this is maybe really big news. As of yesterday, they closed I-29. Did you hear about that?
Isn't that strange? Like, why? They closed it, right?
Oh, I don't know.
They did.
I don't know how they do it. I haven't been out there
They
yet.
closed it. And I was on 13th Avenue heading out north on I-29 today.
29.
And
That's the one that goes north and south.
Yes. And over by like Perkins over there.
Yep.
And they had barricades, like not the arms. They had like the no street closed type road closed thing. And so rumor has it, they closed it right before Shania Twain
Nah.
right before a concert got out. So I'm like, are you kidding me? And I heard that because I was working at the airport this morning. They're like, hey, heads up. the road's going to be closed from midnight to 6. I'm like, how do we already know this? Like, there's no storm. Like, how do we know it's going to be closed? And that was like at 5 o'clock in the evening.
Well, apparently it was planned because so to allow XL Energy to replace distribution wires to improve the reliability of electric service in the area.
Wow, they forgot to take a look at what was going on in the town.
Well, I mean, because Shania Twain's kind of a big deal. Yes. I was telling my wife, who's not from around here, that like. She is like the biggest, like she's huge. Like I'd probably say Still the One is like 70-80% of weddings.
Yes.
Like that's the wedding song, right? Like
exactly.
And that
30
song
years later, whatever.
Have you ever listened to the actual lyrics of that? It's a little like
yeah, I sing them at the top of my lungs.
Well, who is this they? Like, do you really think people care about your relationship that much? To me it feels a little the song I'm just saying the song feels a little schizoid to me. I'm not. Am I being really controversial? Am I being mean? I'm not trying.
Mean.
I just like
you are just cold.
Well, no, because the song is like,
look, you're still the one.
No, that's not what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on the looks like we made it. They said it when it happened, but boy, we sure proved them wrong. Like this is like a paranoid. This is like paranoid delusion.
I live by this song every morning.
Nobody's trying to break you and your husband apart.
No,
I'm
telling
you. I'm telling you, there's no they. There is no they. That's all I'm saying.
I will tell you this. When I first was engaged, because I was engaged 4 months after I met my husband, my now husband, half my family was like, you'll never make it.
Really?
Yeah. They're like, you can't do that. I mean, because keep in mind, I've been married 25 years.
Okay.
So 25 years ago, if you dated somebody 4 months, it was like, what are you doing? You are ridiculous. You need to know these people. And I didn't even know him. Like, I knew him because I knew his friends. But I didn't know him. And I to this day, I always say the first year I was still, like we were at our honeymoon. I'm like, honey, you don't have to be romantic. It's okay because we're in Paris. Right? I didn't know he had a romantic side to him.
Well, shut my mouth.
Exactly.
I was wrong. You're right. I'm wrong.
You're still the one.
You're still the one. Okay. They were trying to break. They were trying. They were talking.
Some people do it.
All right. Well, coming up here, we've got the last song before the end of the show. Going to listen to some Spice Girls. Spice up your life.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you said I went to the Barbie soundtrack and grabbed that up. And then we'll go into our final and most exciting segment, Fargo favorites. So don't go nowhere.
That's hilarious. I love it. Looks like, well, every time I wake up or every time I do something where I'm like, yes, looks like we'll make it.
Okay.
That is so funny.
No, seriously, I had that conversation with my wife, and she's like, Conrad, I get it. I've really had that thought for a long time. But,
well, now you know.
You know, I guess I was wrong.
Rare that you would.
Well,
that's on camera.
I admit I'm wrong a lot.
He was wrong.
I'm often wrong.
Okay, he's often wrong.